What's up guys, Galapagos Jay here. So now you're looking to get your very own kart and you don't know what kart to buy. Well, my simplest answer for you would be secondhand and also OTK and also four-stroke. Now let me give you a reason why. Now if you get a secondhand kart, okay, first of all, it's easier on your budget. Second, you can use it to practice a lot of things, okay? A lot of the mistakes that you make on a secondhand kart, you wouldn't be as, like painful when you make those mistakes. So it's always good to get a second-hand kart first before you get a really beautiful new shiny Tony kart or Lando Norris kart or whatever. Second thing I mentioned was OTK. Now OTK is probably one of the biggest kart manufacturers in the world. There are a lot of brands under the OTK umbrella and all the parts are interchangeable, and because they have a really long history. So a lot of the third-party workshops or manufacturers made parts for OTK. So if you get an OTK chassis, it'll be very easy for you to source parts and also get help, because a lot of forums are mostly OTK as well. Although there are other manufacturers that are really good as well, like Burrell or CRG. Those guys are really good as well. But OTK is probably the easiest starting point for you, and their chassis is really, really awesome. So try to get an OTK chassis. Now, the third thing I mentioned was four-stroke. The reason why I mentioned four-stroke is, first of all, it's the easiest to maintain and also fiddle around with. Two-stroke engines, they have a lot more parts. It's a lot harder to maintain, to learn. So it's always good to start with a four-stroke engine, but this is more up to your personal preference, because if you started out learning karting with two-stroke, then by all means get a KT100 or even, IME X30. But for a newbie, if you just came from a rental kart, I'd say just stick to the four-stroke for now. Okay, you can get the Briggs & Stratton 206, or you can get a GX200 like I did, and then do your own modifications to it. And a lot of times you can actually easily get 10 horsepower or 10 to 12 even, if you are very extreme with your modifications. So four-stroke engine is always a good starting point for when you really want to get into the mechanics, learning all the ins and outs of an engine, and also really test out the racing chassis. Because if you were learning karting with rental cars, you'd find that competition chassis behaves very differently. It's a lot more agile, it's a lot lighter. So even with the same four-stroke engine, it'll be a lot quicker. So it's always a good idea to start from the easier levels and then move your way up to the two-strokes. Now, in terms of the chassis, there's one more thing to consider. Although I did say I would recommend start with the four-stroke engine, you should get a chassis that supports two-stroke engine, because in the future, when you do upgrade to a two-stroke engine, it's a lot easier because all the parts are already configured for a two-stroke engine. The chassis is more stronger. Now, after you've gotten your first kart, it's very important to get your first set of tools and learn to set up your kart and do simple maintenance. Okay, the more you get involved, the more you get hands-on with your own kart, the more you know about your kart, and it will actually improve your driving, because some of the greatest drivers in history are all very intimately involved, and they understand the mechanics of the car very, very well. So if you want to be an exceptional driver, always get very hands-on with your own kart. Okay, do setup changes yourself and then feel what those setup changes do to your kart. What does it do to your handling? What kind of setup do you prefer? You know your kart the best. And the second benefit about understanding your kart is that eventually you may join a race team, and then there are mechanics who will help you set up your kart. Then you would be able to sort of communicate better with your mechanics on how you want your kart set up. Okay, the more you understand about the mechanical ins and outs of your kart, the better. Okay, this will make you an exceptional driver when it comes to karting. So once you have decided that you're going to get a particular kart, it's also important that you get the right tools. So I'm going to do another video on what sort of tools to get for your very first kart. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.